The first non-stop flight from New York to Sydney has landed in Sydney. The 20-hour Qantas flight was the first of 3 test flights to measure the impact of the ultra-long-haul journeys on pilots, crews and passengers. Antoinette Collins reports.
It was a historic moment in international plane travel when the flight touched down at Sydney this morning. It travelled 16,200 kilometres non-stop over 20 hours from New York, and the world's longest commercial non-stop flight. Now, it wasn't really a proper flight. It was a test flight with only 50 people on board, and of those 50 there were really only 6 passengers who were the guinea pigs for the researchers. Now, those researchers were conducting experiments on both passengers and crew to monitor and assess the physical and mental impacts of being on a plane for such a long period of time, especially in relation to jet lag and fatigue. Now, when they boarded the flight in New York, everyone on board was immediately set to Sydney time. So special lighting was used inside the cabin, special meals were prepared, and exercise sessions even took place. Now, this particular test flight, it's the first of 3, is particularly important for Qantas CEO Alan Joyce, who hopes to have these ultra-long-haul flights between Sydney and New York and Sydney-London running in regular service in around 2 years' time.
We need to show that this can be done safely, it can be done with the rest that we have for the crews. We believe that this data, this information will help us get there, and we need to get the product right. We're looking at 4 classes on the aircraft, including a special area for economy passengers to be able to exercise on the aircraft. We were doing that on the aircraft coming in. Passengers loved it. The passengers were really energised, and we want to have that dedicated area as part of the product development.
Well, there's still a number of regulatory hurdles that Qantas will have to pass with CASA, the Civil Aviation Safety Authority, which currently caps the hours that pilots can fly at around 18 hours, so that will need to be addressed. Pilots are also expressing some concerns that 3 test flights isn't really going to provide enough data about the long-term impacts on the health of their pilots. The next flight is scheduled to take place between Sydney and London in November, followed by a 3rd flight between Sydney and New York in December.